Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another day of music theory. I hope that you're all happy that there are only 4 days that you have to spend time working on school stuff this week. So let's jump in. Yesterday, what we did is we wrote out Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in 3 different keys, and we have the same melody and the same bass line, but in 3 different keys. We have C major, F major, and G major. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to continue our talk about transposition, which is the act of moving any bit of music to a different key without changing it otherwise. And I'm just going to demonstrate how this is still the same exact music, even though it has different notes in it. So what I have here is the music that we wrote yesterday. Again, it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. On this first tab here, I have it in C major. I have it in F major here. And I have it in G major here. And then I have one more PDF open, and it's this trusty keyboard that I like to always come back to. So, to get started, what I want to do to prove to you that this is the same music, other than the fact that I showed you copy and paste yesterday, I want to take a look at a couple intervals within this song, so that way we can see how consistent they are from one key to the next. So one of the easiest places to start is the first melodic interval we have, which means the first time we actually change notes in the song. We can see here that we have 2 C's in a row to start the song and the melody, and there's no change here. This interval is called a perfect unison because these are the same exact 2 notes. We're not interested in this unison. I'm talking about where this note, this C, moves up to this G here. So the first thing I want to measure is we're going to look at the distance, the interval from this C to this G. So I'm going to pull up our keyboard. As always, when we're counting intervals, we start on 1 with whatever our first note is, whatever the lowest note is. We have C here. We have to get up to G, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a reminder that because this is 5, that means that C to G is a fifth. We don't call fifths major or minor. We call this example from C to G, this is a perfect fifth. I'm going to just abbreviate that with P5 from the C to the G. And I'm just going to draw that line there to try to make that a little clearer. Hopefully it's not blocking too much. The next thing I want to look at is what we have in the same exact spot in the song, but in the bass line. So we have here, we have the C as our first note in the bass line, and then we move up to the F above it. So let's come back to our keyboard visualizer. Once again, we're going to start counting at 1 with C. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 from C to F. And just like fifths, we don't call fourths major or minor. We call this a perfect fifth. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is a perfect fourth. The perfect fifth would be going up to G. So C to F, perfect fourth in the bass line. What I'm going to show us now is the very last interval in the bass line that we have. So this time we have a low G down here on the lowest line in the bass clef staff. And then we come up to the C in that second space here. So if I come to our keyboard, and this is what's nice about the keyboard, is that it's the same in every octave. So I have started on this C here to go upward. This time, the C is actually the higher note, so we have to come up higher on the keyboard. We have G here. We have to get up to C. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is another example of a perfect fourth, a P4, if you will, between the G and the C. And the last thing I want to show you in this video is the distance from our first note, which is our lowest note in the melody, that C there, and the highest note in the melody, which is actually this A here. Now, this is not the only time that that low C happens. This is not the only time that that A happens. Same exact thing happens here towards the end. And we also end with that lowest C note. But what I want to show you, even though A is not the note that follows right from this C. You know, obviously we have other notes in between. We can measure the distance from this C to this A. Since this is the lowest note and this is the highest note, that's something that we call the melodic range. You have to excuse my bad writing. So the melodic range is the distance from our lowest note in the melody to our highest note in the melody. In this example, it's C to A. So let's come to our keyboard. We have to get from C up to A. So let's start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this will be a major sixth because it's a little bigger than the distance from C to A flat. So our melodic range equals a capital M6, a major sixth in this song. I'll see you in the next video to analyze the same things in F major.